Are you new to the Power Automate and want to know what is desktop flow and what is cloud flow? Here is the right place to get your knowledge. Hi, this is Krupali from KnowHow Academy. I welcome you all to Power Automate tutorial. Today in this video, you will learn about desktop flow versus cloud flow. So without delay, let's get started. Before going ahead in this video, let me tell you what you will learn from this video. First, you will learn why is desktop flow needed. Second, you will learn what is desktop flow and when to use it. Third thing, you will learn why is cloud flow needed. Fourth thing, you will learn about what is cloud flow and when to use cloud flow. And fifth thing, you will learn about the difference between desktop flow and cloud flow. So without delay, let's get started. So let me tell you the first thing, why is desktop flow needed? Desktop flow are essential because they allow automation of tasks that involve interact with application and system on your computer that cannot be accessed directly via API or the cloud. Think of them as your digital assistant that can mimic your manual action like clicking on buttons, typing or copying data. Let me explain you with the simple real life scenario. Imagine you work in an office where every day you receive a file with a customer detail in Excel. Your job is to manually enter this information into the old billing system that does not support automation or integration. So what will you do? First, you will open the Excel file. Second, you will copy first customer name, email and address. Third thing, you will paste that copied data into billing software fields. Then you save the records and repeat the process for every customer which is there in Excel file. Now here, what is the problem? Here, the first problem is this task is repetitive, time consuming and prone to error if done manually. Now how desktop flow will help for this? With desktop flow, you can automate the entire process. First, desktop flow open the Excel file for you. Then it reads the customer detail line by line. Then it open the old billing software, enter the detail and save them just like you would do manually. So what will you get? Because of this, you will save your time. Then error will be minimized. Then it will increase your productivity also. And also it will handle the boring and repetitive task. This kind of automation will bring your productivity and efficiency in your task. So I hope you understand why desktop flow needed. Now let me tell you what is desktop flow and when to use it. Desktop flow is a type of automation in Microsoft Power Automate that focuses on desktop based on task and process. It enables you to automate repetitive tasks on your computer by mimicking human action such as clicking on button, typing, copying data or interacting with the application. It is powered by robotics process automation which allow you to interact with legacy system, desktop application and website that do not have API or direct integration capability. Now let me show you how desktop flow will look like. If you are in Windows operating system, then you can install desktop in your Windows machine. So for that, you need to just first log in into your Power Automate account. Now let me show you. Here I have already logged in. If you go to home, then and if you go to click on create, then here you will find the install. Then you can click on that and you can download the exe file for the desktop automation. I have already installed it, so let me show you. You need to search on desktop flow and then here it will open. sorry, not desktop flow, but you need to search for Power Automate, and then it will open. Here you will see the home screen where you will see the desktop flow which you have built. Now I have created one desktop flow which will extract data from shopping website. Let me show you. Here I have designed that desktop flow, and let me just run it. Now here this desktop flow will open the Amazon and then search for Mac desktop, and then whatever result it will get, it will store it into the Excel file. Let me just run it. So here you can see that automatically browser window will open, then Mac desktop will search, and whatever data I am getting, it will read the data, and then whatever data it is reading from the Excel file, it is copied and pasted into the Excel file. So this type of automation you can do using Microsoft Power Automate desktop flow. Even in desktop flow, you can do multiple things. If you want to develop a desktop flow, you just need to click on new flow, and then you need to give a desktop flow name. Here I am giving just example, and click on create. Then your desktop flow new window will open, and here you can create your desktop flow. In desktop flow, you need to provide each and every action. Let's say you want to launch an Excel file. So here you can see the different categories of the actions are there. So here you can see this is the variable. Now whatever action related to variable, here you can see that. Then here you can see the condition, then here you can see the looping related action, then flow control related action, and here you can use the automation, that is browser automation related action also. Now let me just search it. Let's say launch browser. So here you can see the browser automation action category, and under that these are the different action. Now if you want to open a Google Chrome, you just need to click and drag it. Here you will see that small window will appear which will ask that what type of action you want to do after opening the browser. So I want to open a new browser, then what URL you want to open. So let's say I will write the URL, let's say https www.amazon.in. Then what is the state of the window? So I'm using that maximize. Window should be maximized and the target should be on a local computer. Then click on save. And if you just save it and run it, then you can see the browser window will automatically open. Now if you do it manually, what you will do? You will just write here the Chrome and then you will double click. But this all the actions done by the Microsoft Power Automate. Here I have designed a several flow which include the condition statement, which include the list and so on. So let me explain you one of the thing, that is looping. So here you can see that I have designed one desktop flow and which will do the first action, that's setting the variable value. If I just run it, you will see what happened. So here you can see that a message is displaying, that it will display 1. If I click on OK, then it will display 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you know that how many time your loop will execute, that many time the small message box will open. So you can implement the conditions, you can implement the looping statement and so on. And you know one more thing is there, you can interact with the database which is set up in your local desktop and you can do the repetitive task. So I hope you understand how to interact with desktop flow. We have already created a video on different desktop flow based tasks. The link is given in the description. You can check it out. Now let me tell you when to use desktop flow. First, if you want to interact with your legacy system, then you can use desktop flow. Second, if you want to do automative repetitive task, then you can use desktop flow. If you want to bridge the gap between the two systems which is not interacting with one another via cloud, then you can build a desktop flow. You can use desktop flow when API is not supported for the software. Or you can say that the task which is not supported by the API. And one more thing, if you want to perform data extraction from various sources, then you can also use Power Automate Desktop Flow. So I hope you understand what is Desktop Flow and when to use it. Now let me explain you why Cloudflow is needed. Cloudflow in Power Automate is essential because it automates workflow and process across cloud system and services. It simplifies integration between various apps, platform and data source, which enable the seamless communication and task automation without requiring manual intervention. Let me explain you with the simple scenario. Imagine you are a manager and your team frequently submit expense report for approval. Without automation, what you need to do? First, you need to manually track the email for new expense submission. Then you need to open each file to review the detail. Then you need to send an email to approve or reject the expense. Then you need to notify the team member about the decision. So here, what is the problem? This manual process is time consuming and prone to delay or error, especially if you are managing multiple approvals daily. Here, how Cloudflow will help. Using Cloudflow, you can automate the entire process by designing trigger. That means whenever a new expense form is submitted, then Microsoft Power Automate will do the action. Then you need to take an action of process. Then automatically send the report or your email to the team member for the review. Then third, approval. You approve or reject the request directly from a notification. And fourth, for notification. Here, the system instantly notifies the team member about the decision. So this way, Cloudflow will helpful. Now, let me tell you the fourth thing. What is Cloudflow and when to use it? Now, let me explain you what is Cloudflow. Cloudflow in Power Automate is a tool that automates workflow between cloud apps and services. It triggers an action based on event, schedule task or run process. Allow seamless integration and task automation. Now let me tell you when to use Cloudflow. First, when you want to automate your notification and approval process, at that time you can use Cloudflow. For an example, sending an email approval request when form is submitted. The second scenario that can be if you want to integrate your cloud services, for an example, connecting SharePoint, Teams and Outlook for workflow. At that time, you can use Cloudflow. If you want to schedule your task at some repetitive time, at that time also you can use Cloudflow. If you want to do data movement across the different cloud-based system, then you can use Cloudflow. So these are some situations where you can use Cloudflow. Now let me show you how you can use Cloudflow practically. So first of all, you need to open a browser tab and search for Power Automate. Then you will see the first link and you need to click on that link. And to use a Power Automate Cloudflow, you need to use your organization or school or work account. So let me sign in. I have already signed in Microsoft Teams, so automatically it will sign in to the Microsoft Power Automate Cloudflow. Here you can see this is the home page of Microsoft Power Automate Cloudflow. Here you can select your environment and you can create Microsoft Cloudflow in this environment. So here you can create several type of flow, that is automate cloud flow, instant cloud flow, schedule cloud flow, describe it to design it, desktop flow. Here you need to download it, which I have already explained, and you can create a cloud flow for process mining also. Now here, if you go to the my flow, here you will see the different flow which I have created. Here I have designed a different flow. Now one of the flow, let me tell you. Now let me open this SharePoint to Excel. Let me click on edit. Now here this flow is called a schedule cloud flow. Why? Because the trigger is reoccurrence. Now here trigger means when this flow will start its execution. So if you click on that, let me just close it. If you click on that, then here you will see that at every day at defined time zone, it will execute. Then what it will do? Here it will get the items from the SharePoint list. Then it will process the each item and it will compare with the item which is there in Excel file. So here whenever you are designing a cloud flow, first thing you need to design a trigger. Trigger means when this flow will execute. So this is called trigger. Now here this is reoccurrence trigger. That means it will execute on every day at particular time. And rest of the thing you design, that is called action, or you can say step. So here this flow will copy SharePoint data to the Excel file. Now let me show you one another flow. Let me go to the my flow and let me just click on that test power app. Now what this flow will do? Now basically when you execute run button, or when you execute, or when you click on save button from the power app, this flow will execute. So here from the external services, that is PowerApp, I am calling the Power Automate, and via Power Automate data will be saved in Microsoft SharePoint list. So here you can see that when Power App call a flow, that means when I click somewhere in my Power App, then this flow will execute. Then here this flow will receive some parameter from the Power App, that is accepting ID, email and feedback. That is just like a function call. When we call a function, we need to pass a parameter. So I will pass parameter from the Power App, and here this parameter will be processed and it will be saved into the Microsoft SharePoint list. So this way you can design your different cloud flow based on your need. Now let me tell you the difference between desktop flow and cloud flow. The first difference is execution. That means desktop flow will execute on particular machine. If you change the machine, again you need to design a desktop flow for that. While in cloud flow, it is not machine dependent. It will execute when you design your trigger, irrespective of your machine. Now let me tell you the second difference, that is use case. If you want to interact with legacy system and automate certain boring tasks or repetitive tasks, at that time you can use desktop flow. If we talk about the cloud flow, if we want to integrate, or if we want to establish a communication between different app which is running on a cloud, at that time we need to use cloud flow. The third difference is trigger. That means in desktop cloud flow we need to manually trigger it, while in cloud flow we can take different types of trigger which will execute based on different action. Like if we take a reschedule trigger, then it will execute at particular day or by week, month and so on. If we design a cloud flow which will execute when email receive in our Outlook, so it will execute when new mail arrive into your inbox. Now let me tell you the fourth difference, that is dependency. That means if you want to execute desktop flow, then you need to use desktop Power Automate application. But remember, if you are using Mac computer, then Microsoft Power Automate desktop flow application will not work in that machine. So for that you need to install Virtual OS in Mac, and then you can use it. But in cloud flow, it will execute in any operating system irrespective of machine dependency. Now let me tell you the fourth difference, that is integration. Here in desktop flow limited to different desktop process, while in cloud flow it support broad integration with the different application or cloud based software services. So I hope you understand. Before ending this video, let me tell you what you have learned from this video. First, you have learned why is desktop flow needed. Second thing, you have learned what is desktop flow and when to use it. Third thing, you have learned why is cloud flow needed. Fourth thing, you have learned what is cloud flow and when to use it. And fifth thing, you learn the difference between the desktop flow and cloud flow. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as a source of your IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate to the tech world. If you have any question, do not feel hesitate to reach out us. Stay curious, keep learning.